Have you ever had to decide on whether to buy a product or make it as part of your project work? If you've had to create a scenario for a make-buy decision, you know it can be complex. And today I'm going to give you a calculator, take you through a process, and talk about some of the risks of making a make-buy decision. Coming up next on Project Skills Mentor. Hi, I'm Liz. I am the Project Skills Mentor, and if you want to know more about make-buy decisions that I'm going to cover in this video, check out my link below, and there you'll get my free downloadable calculator. Now, there are calculators online, and they're very good. Mine is free, and that's what makes it different. I'm here to help you be better at your job, whatever it is. So please take advantage of it. Check out my blog. I've got tons of information about project management. Let's get stuck in. What is a make-buy decision? A make-buy decision is essentially deciding, are you going to buy all or some aspect of a product to be used on your project or a product to be used by your company? Now that might be a piece of software, a service like implementation of software, or a service to provide services to your company, or a completely outsourced scenario. I'll take you through those in just a bit, but let me get right into the make-buy decision calculator. Here's the calculator, and here's how it works. Using the colored fields, you want to put in the data, and if you need more help on putting in some of the data like staffing or other costs, you can use my project toolkit to put in the individual detailed data and then bring it over to the make-buy calculator. Once you put that data in, you'll then need to assess the risk area, and that's going to be based on the percentage of risk in order to keep track of what can go wrong on your project. Once you've done that, the Excel will automatically update the make-buy calculator lifetime, and I'm giving that a 3-year lifetime because that's pretty standard in the industry, and in that you can start to see which decision is better. You also need to document your assumptions, which I've given you a place to do, and talk about the soft benefits for both make and buy. Because the fact is, it's not just a numbers game. It's also about the service level agreements, the ease of contracting, the marketplace and maturity of the marketplace, and more. And you need to take all of these into account when you're making a make-buy decision. So you've got the calculator, but you need a broader view, you need a broader vision about your assessment. So feasibility is the first point. What is feasibility? It's whether you're ready to make it or whether you should buy it in the marketplace. And that has to do with a lot of factors. If you're thinking about making it, think about the maturity of your company, of your team, and of the product you need to create or the process you need to create. Does your team have the skills? Do you have the technology available? Is it worthwhile for you to do? It's an opportunity cost, whether you spend time on this thing or something else. And in addition to that, you also need to look at the marketplace for a buy decision. Does the marketplace have what you're looking for? Is there something close enough? Maybe you want a disruptive solution, but maybe you need a sure thing and you want the marketplace to be mature. If it's not, you may need to decide to make it. Sustainability. Maybe you can make it once, your team's capable and willing and you have the key tools to do it. But is it sustainable? You know, software, for instance, and processes need regular updates. Customers, once they have a baseline, always expect additional features. It's in our nature. It's the world of apps we live in, for instance. Even if your solution isn't an app, that expectation is there from your users. Are you able to not just sustain the current product, maintain it, make it good, keep it organized, have people there to talk to your customer or your end user if something goes wrong, but also take it further, develop that product so it's future-proof. If not, again, the market may serve you better with a long-term sustainable solution. And the last point is impact. What does your company do and what does this decision relate to? If it's part of strategy, it may be good to consider a make decision because it's important to your ROI, it's part of your unique selling point, etc. But if it's not, if it's essentially a commodity play within your organization, maybe how logistics work when logistics is not a principal component of your company, or even sometimes this is why HR is outsourced. It's because it's important to your business, but it's not important to your customers. And in that respect, you decide to go to a buy play. Now, when you're doing that, you need to think about the long-term play as well. Maybe your HR process is not considered critical to your company, but the quality of your employees is. That may actually bring you to a make decision. In this sustainability, this feasibility, and this impact choice, you'll want to use the calculator to document the assumptions you're making about these 3 areas. Next, you're going to want to have a thought about some of the risks of make-buy decisions, and they are really key. One of them that I've seen a lot in my career is the decision to make and buy. When you're doing both, you're actually kind of underserving your organization. If you buy an ERP system, something like SAP or Oracle, and then you add tons of lines of code, you are also adding in complexity and long-term costs. Sustainability will be harder as you upgrade your system and have to patch in all those modifications you've made. So think twice if you're going to make and buy. Think about make and configure. And if you need help from the company you're buying from or a consulting firm, do that. That's a better choice to really understand how you can configure the product to work as closely to your optimum situation rather than to add lines of code. Now, that's the same for processes. If you're making a process that demands outsourced services, align to those outsourced services and think how they change internal roles, responsibilities, policies, and procedures. It's really important to understand any kind of outlying organizational agreements and how they relate to your internal processes. That should also be part of your make-buy decision, your soft benefits, your hard benefits, and your assumptions. So when you're talking about make versus buy, there can be some distinctions here. One is do it completely yourself. You've got the team, the ability, the technology, and you're just going to make exactly what you need, how you need it. The other option is getting some help. That may be buying a piece of technology that underlies your solution, but you might also need a subject matter expert, someone who can help you with a particular aspect of your project, like integration or HR policies. Or it could be getting help from another organization, like Deloitte, KPMG, IBM. Getting that kind of specialized help can really save you money in the long run. But be careful, you don't want to buy help that you need to actually institutionalize for stability. Maybe think about hiring that person to retain that talent and to transfer that knowledge to someone inside of your company so that content is retained. If you want to go beyond just getting some help, you might actually consider software as a service or solution as a service. This is where you essentially create a buying contract with an SLA for a certain amount of work or content to be managed by someone else using their tool, their hosting, their databases, and their people. Now, the way this generally works is you need to have some kind of in-house process and project in order to connect to that and create an account management process to make sure the SLA is being met. However, most of the work would be done by that software supplier. You do, however, need to find a way to integrate. An integration between your databases can be the biggest part of your project that remains in your hands. Lastly, you can outsource, which really goes a step further. It even makes the integration someone else's problem. And again, what you'll want to focus on is governance, oversight, contract management, and account management. Those make sure the integrity of the work your supplier is doing for you is the right kind of quality and final outcome. Essentially, they're responsible for feasibility, sustainability, and impact. So what does make-buy decisions come down to? Understanding the importance and the scope of the work for your business. Is this fundamentally a return on investment for something critical to your business, disruptive to the industry, or something that will increase the value to your customers? Or is it something internally necessary in order to manage back office processes? Next, the two sides of the coin. Total cost of ownership. You'll see this on my calculator. I look at this at a 3-year period, but you might add a 5-year span or a 10-year span. The point is to understand the build, maintain, and sustain costs for that solution. Those include internal and external costs, again, as you'll see on my calculator. And the flip side of TCO, or total cost of ownership, is value. Are you getting the value, the best value you can from either a make, buy, or combo situation? I hope you find this information helpful. I hope you'll download that calculator and check out the blog for more details. And if you need to know more about the procurement process and the contracting process related to a buy decision, check out this video. And I hope to see you next time on ProjectSkillsMentor.com. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.